Welcome. This webinar today is building a platform strategy for the smart enterprise. Hopefully you're all in the right place. If not, stick around. It's going to be fun. I promise. My name is Chris Hood. I am a digital strategist and value consultant with Google Cloud and Apogee. And for all of those who are here today, please jot down my email. It's chrishood@google.com. At the end of the webinar, we'll have some time to answer some questions, but if we don't get to your question or if there's something specific that you would like to talk about, feel free, reach out to me. I will do whatever I can to help answer your question, talk to you a little bit, and strategize about what your specific needs are, okay? So great opportunity, grab my information, and then we can talk afterwards. Let's get into it. From digital marketplaces and content platforms to smart homes and wearable devices, across virtually all industries, connected experiences are actually redefining how customers interact with businesses and how businesses must engage with those customers and how both must be protected from threats. And in fact, by 2020, connected experiences will overtake price and product as the key brand differentiator. And 86% of buyers will pay more for that experience. But what exactly is a smart enterprise? I think we're all familiar with what smart devices are. A smart device is an electronic device generally connecting to other devices or networks through different types of applications, and they consume large amounts of data and content from the cloud so that we can operate to some extent and interact to some extent with those devices. And it's estimated that probably around 2020, again, there will be about 20.4 billion devices connected to the internet and consumers throughout all of our homes, throughout our businesses, our cars, our appliances, everything. And with those, we create smart homes, right? A residence equipped with a number of devices that automate tasks, turn on my TV, play my favorite song, right? Set an alarm for me, turn on the lights, set the color of those lights. And all of these are experiences that we as consumers are looking for. And they fit our specific type of personal identity. That's why we use them. That's why we like them. And this is all done through modernizing applications. And depending upon that persona that you look at, modern applications means different things for different people. It all depends on who you talk to. So for instance, if you talk to a customer, they expect slick, modern, intuitive user experiences on all of the devices that they're using, and an app that works offline or online or really anywhere, right, to do exactly what they want it to do. If we talk to a developer, they want to be able to rapidly get to what they need, build things, be productive. They believe building modern applications would help, improve the overall productivity of the business and of their teams. And then even when we get another perspective, if we talk about that from the business, where the business is looking at these modernized applications as a way to increase revenues and create new lines of business, to be more secure and agile. But through all of these perspectives, these modern applications are what's driving business today. And they come with benefits, right? Some of them, as we've just mentioned, not only do they have the expectations, all of these users, but they actually achieve those expectations. We can accelerate time to market. We can avoid business disruption. We can access legacy and modern services seamlessly and increase consumption of the apps securely. And of course, the key in most of this is being able to measure actionable insights for the business. All of these definitions from a consumer perspective really doesn't change much when we start looking at it from the business perspective. Enterprises must also connect with networks through application interfaces that consume data in the cloud to meet the needs of its customers. The smart enterprise, which is what we're talking about today, is no different. So what are the needs of today's enterprises? Here's 5 quick bullet points, and we're going to try to go through these as we progress today. But smart enterprises need to connect people and services and information, partners with digital ecosystems. They need to generate opportunities to rapidly change the business through an API platform, enable the enterprise to process and analyze massive amounts of data and diverse data. And we're going to look at some of those examples today. And quickly scale to the company's needs, stay ahead of the market with things like hybrid cloud, and of course, reach the market faster to meet the demands of consumers more rapidly. And really, as we start to dive into this, you're going to see a lot of similarities throughout all of these and how they're connected. So let's look at a value proposition for us. If we take this down to kind of a simple statement of what we want to accomplish from a smart enterprise, we want to be able to enable enterprises to rapidly respond to the changing needs of customers by leveraging highly secure, manageable, and monetizable APIs that connect data and applications across hybrid cloud environments. That's the goal. If we were to boil all this into one nice little statement, this is what we would end up with. So let's break this down now. Let's start with customers, a platform to support your customers. And I'm pretty confident, probably most of you on the phone today, on the call, on the webinar, know what an API is, right? The basic traditional definition of an API. But hopefully you're also here because you are looking to modernize your applications, build smart enterprises, reach your consumers faster, all those things that we're talking about inside of an API program, and that you should understand that APIs are directly leading digital transformation across all industries. And we do that through being able to create these connected experiences like smart devices and smart homes and other examples that we'll show you today, become more agile by having reusable API assets that your teams can leverage across multiple channels, and also create new business models so that you can collaborate with partners and even monetize that data, and then be able to launch those new business models more rapidly. This is your typical problem that I think a lot of companies are faced with, and you may already be faced with this today in your organization. On the left side, we have all of those connected experiences we're talking about. We've got partner apps, we've got consumer apps, we've got employee apps, internal, external, new experiences, multiple channels. They're all sitting there. And then on the right side, we've got all these back-end systems. Right? We've got the Internet of Things, we've got systems of records and cloud apps and all of those back-end systems, and we have to find ways to be able to connect them together. And so Apogee, as an example, an API management platform, can help you do that by bringing in things like security and analytics to bring in new data to help you operationalize your APIs in your application development, by looking at monetization opportunities to generate new revenue on that data, to create developer portals and monitor things from a consumer perspective, right? All of that is part of this platform that helps make smart enterprises. And we do this also as part of what we call the digital value chain. And the digital value chain demonstrates how we can get from that connected experience from the customer point of view over to the back end. And we do that by creating applications or digital experiences that are produced by developers that are consuming your APIs within the platform, that are built by API teams that are connecting now to your back end. And by doing this, we begin to focus on the user. We call it the outside-in perspective. If you remember, we started with the connected device, those users, and then worked inward towards the back end. When we focus on the user, we're able to identify things like who the user is, who the users are, what are the user's needs, why do they need it, when do they need it. These questions are on everybody's minds, and you start by answering these questions, again, from an outside-in perspective. I have said this to a lot of different people in a lot of different engagements that I participate in. Believing you know what your customers want more than they do will cost you those customers. You can't assume anymore. You have to know. And we see that in some of these stats. Customers are more demanding today. 56% of digital consumers actively seek to buy from the most innovative companies, the companies that are presenting those digital experiences we're talking about. Or 65% of those digital consumers expect personalized experience based on previous visits. Again, they are demanding. Their expectations are high, and you're going to need to be able to fulfill those, or you will lose those customers. In fact, 76% of digital consumers expect companies to know their needs before asking them. Now, how do you do that? You do that through all these various techniques we're talking about today, by understanding the consumers from an outside-in perspective, and then building upon a platform that can achieve those expectations in real time. Because what we end up with is, if we can make our customers happy, then we're going to generate organizational value. Happy customers equals organizational value. I don't think any of you on the phone will disagree with that. And we do that through API products. APIs are not just about integration. A few weeks ago, I was having a discussion with a group on LinkedIn, and the comment was made that ignoring application integration scenarios means ignoring about 98% of the scenarios where APIs are used in the real world. My response aligns with what we're talking about, and I simply said, no matter what the integration is, at the start of an API's life is a value proposition that must result in a business outcome. Otherwise, you wouldn't need the integration in the first place. This is a mindset shift. APIs are not just about integration. APIs must be treated as products, no different than any other product you design, build, or manage in your organization. The customer experience is the product. APIs allow enterprises to express parts of their business as software that developers can leverage for digital experiences and products. For example, when somebody orders a movie ticket via voice assistant or something, that transaction is only possible because the voice assistant can call an API that expresses the capabilities such as showtime lookups or location search or synopsis for the movie. And it's all done through an API as part of the overall platform for customers. Let's look at a couple of examples. Swisscom, they looked at modern application development, wanted to create better connections for their customers. And in doing so, they produced 20% annual growth in API calls post-migration after they brought in Apogee. And it opened up several opportunities for them to grow customer engagement, with their services, and generated millions in revenue through their API program. That's one example. Another example, Pitney Bowes, also another modern application development story, forming a lot of different connections and simplifying the processes for deploying new features into the cloud for them, which allowed them to grow customer engagement with all of their ecosystems, and it reduced the time to market for new application development from 18 months to 4 months. And again, this is just one example of how a platform can help you become a smart enterprise. Okay, how about a platform for developers? By the time you finish reading this sentence, there will have been 219,000 new Facebook posts, 22,800 retweets, 990,000 Google searches, and about 25 million emails sent. Of course, this is all depending upon the reading speed, of course. That's a lot, right? And the majority of which are done on mobile devices and through APIs, all in the cloud, all secure, all customizable. In fact, Google's network alone receives over 10 billion API calls per second. That's more than 86 quadrillion, I think, something like that per day. It's a lot. And this is really an API ecosystem. Digital ecosystems could account for more than 60 trillion in revenue by 2025, or more than 30% of global corporate revenue. You can't not do this today. Connected experience, again, if we look back at our examples where we have this digital platform in the middle that's supporting APIs, living in the cloud, consuming data, and you've got consumers on one side and your producers on the other side, how do we get these producers and consumers more or less communicating with each other so that you can innovate, create better digital experiences, and get to market faster? And again, this is where Apogee comes in, where the digital platform and the API gateway has the management capabilities for analytics and for monetization, and to be able to allow your developers to consume your APIs and produce those API experiences and those connected experiences on your behalf, allowing us to connect things like the billing and identity and startups as shareable, reusable assets across all organizations, partners, internal, external, consumers, everyone, an ecosystem. Enterprises need to create great developer experiences to build those ecosystems, though. If your developers are frustrated with your APIs, they will go to other competitors to find APIs that will do what they need them to do. We create those API developer experiences by, back to the original point, we create great API products by simplifying the approach to how we use APIs and packaging them in a meaningful way. Those API products can become usable by developers to create those experiences that they are looking for. A great API developer portal helps to, syndicate those APIs, monetize those APIs, have all of your documentation around how to use the APIs, what they're used for, samples that you can share, a sandbox where developers can play in. And again, this is all part of that platform. And onboarding of developers so that you can go out and find new developers that in turn help you create those experiences. And if we were to break this down based on our previous comment, happy developers will help you reach organizational value faster, because they're the ones that are building those experiences for your customers that are generating the organizational value. If we make our customers happy, we reach organizational value. If we make our developers happy, we can reach that organizational value faster. Here's an example. AccuWeather, as they started to produce their ecosystem and monetize their APIs, they launched a developer portal to support their program. And within the first 2 months, they had over 6,500 developers sign up. And they are currently processing somewhere around 30 billion plus API requests a day. And all of these are monetized in packages that developers can sign up for and pay for. It is a new line of revenue and business opportunity for AccuWeather. And then Telenor is another one here. They created a great API set of products. And by doing that, they were able to enter new markets and grow their program, grow their business, and year over year, revenue increased through the monetization of those resources. And by syndicating it out, sharing it with a larger ecosystem, they grew the business. Okay, how about a platform for the business then? How do you know if you're actually creating great API products? The business can leverage the data and the analytics and feedback from developers and consumers, look at metrics to improve the overall experience for consumers. But consider some of these questions. And these are questions you may be asking today, or maybe you're not. Things like, which APIs are being used? What is the API traffic? How about how many versions of the APIs are still being used out there, especially if you're trying to get rid of older versions? What's the traffic volume of my APIs? And more so, can I break that down by product? And can I break it down by pricing tier when I monetize those products? The API program can see value increased as you become more mature. We could start with simple types of metrics and KPIs and data points like the number of APIs being produced, or the number of developers that are on my system, how fast do I build APIs. But as we move up, such as with business impact, can I track the reduction in cost? Can I track how fast we onboard new developers or new APIs or new experiences? Can I see my growth patterns? And can I directly associate my API traffic to revenue? And then as we begin to adopt and we put this out there for consumers within the ecosystem and developers to build apps for you, can we track the number of apps that they're building and the number of partners that we have, or even the number of customers that we have obtained through the partner applications that they have built? These are all great ways to determine success. So are we generating insights fast enough? When you begin to invest in APIs and collect data, are you taking advantage of that data? Because that data ultimately is going to help you make better business decisions. If you have poor insights, then it's going to have a reverse impact that you're looking for. But we typically see in most cases, when you're accelerating your API program and you are making better business decisions with the data that you are analyzing, we start to see rapid growth within 6 months. Wouldn't you like to start immediately growing your business? And digital initiatives are generating huge amounts of data, again, across all industries. We're seeing this with all of the different types of connected devices and connected experiences. But if we were to break that down into industries, such as like manufacturing and healthcare and transportation, retail, all of these industries have connected experiences that are consuming APIs and generating massive amounts of data that they can analyze to make better decisions and to iterate on their APIs that then allow them to create better experiences for their employees, for their business, for their customers. By 2021, again, we've seen a couple of these numbers already, but, in this one, 2021, 25 billion different types of connected devices will be on the market. And that's going to generate around, $5 trillion in dollars. And that money is basically the investment value of those devices, as well as the technology that is going to be needed to support or house all of that data, as well as those APIs, right? And unfortunately, in all of the organizations out there, it's roughly only about 1% of the data that is being gathered is actually properly analyzed. And so as a result, 75% of Internet of Things initiatives are failing. And this is a Gartner report. But how do you avoid this risk, right? How do you capture this data and then effectively use it so that you can achieve your ROI quicker? And part of that is through having these platforms, in place to support it. Another way to do it is to master that big data. How would you use all of that data in some of these questions that we're talking about and through the APIs? Google has been collecting and analyzing large amounts of data for a long time. It's one of our strengths. It allows us to bring fresh solutions to difficult problems by leveraging those strengths to ensure success. You can do this as well. The tools are out there for you to accomplish it. This is how successful businesses become smart enterprises. It also helps you to supercharge innovation. Again, with your APIs, how can you leverage those APIs to make smart decisions or answer complex problems or innovate faster for your customers or new business opportunities or new partnerships? APIs will do all of this for you. And APIs are, again, more than just connecting devices together. You can securely connect experiences, scale that big data, and generate actionable insights, all in an effort to grow your business, to open up new business channels, and again, meet the needs of your consumers. Here's an example. How about parking and traffic congestion? Data is routed wirelessly to a cloud-based platform and aggregated with the sensors that are in the parking structure, and you can map that back in real time to your applications, your phone. I know these are popping up in a lot of cities. It's big, right? This is just one example of how you can leverage that technology. But these initiatives are also not taking full advantage of the data that is available. You've got real problems that also have real opportunities for real innovation and real return on the investment if you were to leverage it properly. Meter time extension. You go, you park, you pay a meter. What if the smart parking solutions were configured to notify the driver that their parking meter is expiring and then allow them to extend the parking time through their phone? I have seen some of that already out there. What if the smart parking solution can efficiently identify violators that pose potential parking issues or safety risk? Or what if merchants could offset their customer parking costs as incentive to get them into your store? It's more than just looking at what you think you can do. It's about taking all of the opportunities, the platforms, the security, the data, the cloud, and then beginning to innovate upon those to create and generate those new business opportunities. How about pizza? I hope, at least I do, love pizza. I hope all of you do. What can a pizza company tell us about digital transformation? Well, Domino's is one of the largest pizza companies in the world. They have over 16,000 stores in 85 countries. And last year, they produced around $13.5 billion in sales. That's pretty good, right? Well, what if I also told you that Domino's in 2018 won a Tech Accelerator Award? They offer ordering services on over 15 different digital platforms, and 65% of all of their sales are done via digital ordering channels. And I believe that number is growing rapidly. The fact is, Domino's considers themselves a technology company, if you can believe that. And you can go off and read a lot of articles. They say time and time again, we are a technology company that just so happens to sell pizzas. Domino's Pizza CEO Patrick Doyle, a couple years ago, basically said, we are going to be a technology company. And through that, they built an anywhere platform that allows you to order on any number of different devices, all of these connected devices that we see in our homes, so that I can basically, ask to order a pizza in real time, and it automatically happens. And in 2019, Domino's also started to look at artificial intelligence by actually connecting AI to their loyalty program, take a picture of a pizza, any pizza and get loyalty points for it. And this all happened because the CEO basically mandated that they were going to focus on APIs. They were going to focus on APIs first. And through focusing on those APIs and building a platform that could enable this type of activity, they catapulted their business over the last 5 to 6 years. In the mid-2000s, 2009, I believe, 2010, they were third or fourth of the most profitable pizza companies in the world. And over the course of the last 10 years, they are now the number one pizza company in the world. 117% increase in revenue with digital ordering platform. And as I said before, 65% of all sales are done via their digital ordering systems, and a number of different ways to order pizza, including now having pizza delivered anywhere that you want it to. It's a huge shift, but it's one that's paid off hugely for Domino's. Another example, Philips. They are on the Google Cloud platform that can now power all of their Philips Hue's light bulbs and be able to scale that. And they are generating roughly 25 million lighting requests per day. So again, it's an example of how you take the smart devices and Internet of Things and be able to integrate it with a platform that has APIs, living in the cloud, leveraging data to grow a business and meet the needs and demands of their consumers. But out of all these customers and all of these examples, what is the common theme? In each of these scenarios and all of the examples I've given you, the enterprise has these three elements. First, a C-level executive strategy that mandated the organization will focus on technology and APIs as products and build a smart enterprise. 2, a relentless drive for a customer-centric culture fueled by an outside-in perspective. And they learned their ABCs. APIs to meet and then exceed their customers' expectations, big data to generate real-time actionable insights for the business, and cloud to rapidly scale and secure and expand their marketplaces. With a platform that can support all of these, like Apogee and Google Cloud, you can make and meet the needs of your customers and become a smart enterprise. So how does your business rank today? So we have a tool online. It's called the Apogee Compass. You can get to it by going to compass.apogee.com. And in that, there are 10 dimensions that we analyze. And we've been doing this with hundreds, if not thousands, of businesses and taking all of their feedback and best practices and experience from these customers to better understand how you can digitally transform your organization and become a smart enterprise. And so in those 10 dimensions, one of them is platform. We also have the outside-in perspective we talked about today. Ecosystem is in there, leadership, metrics, how your talent helps you. So go ahead, sign up. It's a free assessment. You can take it, see what your organization scores look like. And then after you've done so, feel free, again, email me. Let me know what your score is. And if you want, 10 minutes, 15 minutes to kind of strategize about how you can improve that score, then set up some time with me. I'm happy to do that. And, we can walk through your score in specific areas and opportunities for improvement. Okay? And again, you've got my email at the beginning of this webinar. And that's it. That's all for today. Let's do some questions. Here's your opportunity. If you have any questions, feel free to send those over right now, and I will start to answer them. Let's see what we've got. Michael, welcome. Will this webcast be available after it is over? Yes. We do record all of our webinars, webcasts. They will be available on YouTube, and we'll probably send you a notification. But again, if you want it, send me an email, and when it's available, I will send you a response with the link to the recording, okay? I know you are discussing about modern application with Apigee. I have a unique use case where the request and response is SOAP only. What's the Apigee value? And for SOAP only use cases for Apigee on-premise, and there's a lot of other things in here that you're asking, API lifecycle management, et cetera. Okay, so at a high level, Apigee as a platform does support SOAP, and there's a lot of policies within Apigee to help you. You can do SOAP straight through. You can actually create policies that allow you to transform SOAP into JSON or into a more RESTful type of API product. But you can also just create an API product that is using SOAP. That's all fine. Part of that life cycle, though, is that you can still kind of evolve it. And so you may have a specific need for SOAP. There's a lot of, for example, a lot of devices we've talked about, Internet of Things, only support SOAP-based inputs or SOAP-based outputs, and that's fine. It's how you productize it, it's how you manage it, what is that life cycle, and also where the Apigee platform comes in handy is all of the other things we also talked about. You can still share those SOAP-based services out to consumers on a developer portal, allowing people to reach them, being able to innovate and secure them more so than they may be today, and get analytics on them. So if you wanted to actually find out how those SOAP-based services are performing, you can do that as well inside of Apigee. So again, I did a high-level overview of that, but feel free, you can still modernize your applications even if they're SOAP. Okay? Can you restate your email? You missed it. Sure. My email is Chris Hood, all one word, CHRISHOOD @google.com. So feel free again if you have anything or questions or want to collaborate or you need some time to strategize on something, I'm happy to help. Okay, any other questions? It looks like we're done with our questions. Okay, thank you everybody, I appreciate your time, and we will see you all soon. Until next time, have a good day.